Erik Erikson was a Jewish influential and pioneering psychologist, psychoanalyst, and author whose theory of 8 psychosocial stages of development profoundly shaped the field of child development. I got that from nndb.com. He was born on June 15, 1902 in Frankfurt am Main, Germany. Although he is well known for his books Childhood and Society in 1950, Identity, Youth in Crisis in 1968, and Young Man Luther in 1958, he also had a big impact on the way people thought about child development. Erikson grew up not knowing who his father was. Since he did not know about his father for the longest time, when he did find out, he was crushed and confused about who he really was. This sparked his interest in identity and finding out who people really were. I got that from About.com. Since Erikson was a tall, blue-eyed male, he was teased a lot by other children at his Jewish temple school. He also attended grammar school, where he was rejected because of his Jewish background. These early experiences helped fuel his interest in identity formation and continued to influence his work throughout his life. I also got that from About.com. Erikson moved to the United States in 1933 and was offered a job at Harvard Medical School. He also changed his identity by changing his last name from Eric Hamburger to Erik Erikson. In addition, he has his own private practice in child psychoanalysis, and he held teaching positions at Harvard, Berkeley, Yale, the San Francisco Psychoanalytic Institute, Austin Riggs Center, and the Center for Advanced Studies of Behavioral Sciences. Finally, he published a wide variety of books on his theories and research. I also got that from About.com. Erikson came up with the 8 psychosocial stages of development later on. Erikson's 8 stages are trust versus mistrust, autonomy versus shame and doubt, initiative versus guilt, industry versus inferiority, identity versus confusion, intimacy versus isolation, generativity versus stagnation, and integrity versus despair. I also got that from About.com. Trust versus mistrust occurs between birth and 2 and is about developing a sense of trust. Autonomy versus shame occurs about between 2 and 3 and involves gaining independence and personal control. Initiative versus guilt occurs between 3 and 6 and is about exploring one's environment. Industry versus inferiority occurs between 5 and 11 and focuses on developing personal pride and accomplishment. Identity versus confusion occurs in the teen years and is about finding out who you really are. Intimacy versus isolation occurs during early adulthood and is about forming relationships with others. Generativity and stagnation occurs during middle adulthood and is about raising a family and having a career. And finally, integrity versus despair occurs during late adulthood and involves reflecting back on life. I also got that from About.com. Erik Erikson was a lost Jewish male who got teased and pushed around for who he was. Because he was lied to and did not know his personal identity, it gave him interest in the formation of identity. Erik Erikson studied and found 8 major stages in life that everyone goes through to find self-worth and identity that helps psychologists to understand major points in life. Erik Erikson is the founder of the 8 psychosocial stages in development that we call life. Thank you.